Like, oh yeah, yeah. All right, so Aranda, Banto. All right, I made my monologue. I've tied the pieces together the way I see them. You know, I make room for. I only have my opinion, but what really bothers me is that this hurts the image, the ethnic image of the American black man. As an image consultant, let me put on my professional hat. As an image consultant, we have to understand that our ethnic image as American blacks, our ethnic image is horrible. And we must be vigilant at all times to protect our ethnic image. There is no take a break when you're in public. The only time you can take a break is when you are in your house, behind closed doors, offline. That's it. In public, you must be on your toes with one another. My opinion. Butterfly. Our ethnic image. This has gone viral. When TMZ is reporting on it, and you're having a black man have to explain why he got upset that a grown woman was dancing on his furniture in his multi-million-dollar restaurant during a pandemic, and people are talking about he didn't have a mask on. Look at the words he used. Are you kidding me? You guys support these programs. What'd you say to the news host who was questioning this man? Oh, you selected the black man just jumped through the hoops. Okay. That's what's supposed to happen. He's just supposed to get lambasted, have to justify why he don't want his shit told up. Okay. Right. I don't know if you guys can read. It says, I don't know if you guys can read. But it says, ladies, what would you have done? Join the show.
Still got one over there, and a Reese's Cup.
Alright, I will allow you on. Because I know you. It's a dog right there. None other than Mr. Anthony Brian Logan. Let me make sure the audio is correct. Let me go ahead and minimize myself. Get you over here. Get the audio up so we can get. Alright, ABL, what do you got for me?
Hey man, first of all, before I get into it, you're doing a great job with these shows, man. I mean, people are like on the street, it's saying, hey man, you know Kevin Samuels? I'm on the show all the time. And I sent somebody your way. I was in DC. They were talking about relationships, stuff like that. I was like, hey, look at Kevin Samuels on YouTube. Go to the groups and figure out what's going on. So you're doing a great job, man. Keep up doing what you're doing.
Kind of crazy, man. You've been there for the whole ride. It's a bit much. But what do you got for us, bro?
All right. Now, the whole thing with the restaurant, I think what he said to the young lady was correct. But at the same time, he attracted that to his establishment. Mm-hmm. Now, the thing about it, before I was doing this whole thing with YouTube, I was doing like a lot of restaurant stuff, doing flyers, all kind of marketing, that type of thing. Mm-hmm. And I always talk with the owners, with the patrons, with the staff, everybody. And one of the main things they always tried to do was to mitigate any kind of drama, any kind of mischievous behavior from the outside. Mm-hmm. They don't want anybody coming in there shooting it up. They don't want the wrong kind of clientele. They always try to get this classy black folks. They always try to do that. Mm-hmm. Now, this guy, unfortunately, had a DJ in the front playing Throw That Ass in the Circle.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing that, then you're going to attract the wrong kind of people. Now, of course, you got the wrong people there. You cannot be on the couches, on the mirror twerking. You can't do that. But see, when you have that kind of, when you attract them, they're going to come. They're wrong for doing that, but you got to not attract them in the first place. And what he said was correct. But unfortunately, he didn't do the thing. He didn't do what was necessary from the beginning to get the right people there. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I do. And see, that's why I did a broadcast last week about bringing class back. This whole week is about reclamation. All right, what are you going to do about our ethnic image? It's our responsibility. We herald, we go back to the times that we had respect with the Cosby's and all of this other stuff. Okay, then what are we going to do to reclaim our own image? And a big part of it is what I just said. We cannot walk out of the house and let our guard down. We must be on guard at all times for what we do, what we attract, because it all matters. He didn't know he was going to go viral, ABL. But like he said, he was reveling in this kind of low-brow kind of thing, and he blew up on it, he went viral. Now he can't undo it. Good point. Appreciate you. Man, appreciate you coming through the show, man. Hey, Anthony Brian Logan, do me a favor, guys. Put the link to his show in the chat room. I've known ABL for quite a while. I've watched your success. Good stuff, brother. Thank you for coming through, man. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you. ABL, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and put more people in. When you get a big hitter on here, you got to let them do what they do, man. Good stuff. All right, so he's right. Guys, you cannot get upset that you have, a certain portion of clientele when you attract, when you are marketing to that. Throw that ass in the circle. Look, when you come to my show, right? I want to hear from the women, guys. It says ladies during the show. ABL, you're a content creator, but I know you can slide through. But I want to hear from the women. Guys, let me tell you why I want to hear from the women. Because when people men call in, women tend to fall back. And we tend to know what the men think. We need to hear from what the women are thinking. We all know what goes on in our mind in the barbershop. We need to hear their point of view. So if you guys want to be heard, I'm working on something to get to balance it out where I have thorough brothers, thorough men contacting the show at least once every couple of weeks. But that's in 2021. Let me work before me. But like I was saying, in my show, if I show up in a turtleneck or without a suit and tie, y'all are kind of thrown off. Like, what? Because I set a standard for myself. I play music in the game, and I play jazz, bossa nova, this, that. Even when I do play something a little bit more hip-hop, it has a certain level, right? Because I want to attract a... Now you say you talk about all this. You see how women get individuality section. Learn from your mother while men are putting
Boy, y'all talking about Steve Harvey's daughter? Ain't nobody threatened by her. What are you talking about?
It's some chick named.
Chick, you about to set a whole bunch of other chicks up for failure. That's what you about to do.
That's what I told you guys to talk about.
To the end zone, but knocked away and incomplete. Nice play there to force incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get you've got to get the ball from there.
Benny, let's see you over here. We know how to do this, man. And the sad part is we act like this. What I'm saying is, groundbreaking. Y'all, come on, man. We know how to act.
Oh, boy.
You don't want people twerking? Don't market the twerking. He's right. Throw that ass in the circle. You see, even worse is by doing that, you give the opposition
cultural thing. I think the question is like, do I find the class, is twerking classy? I don't think it is. It might also be like a cultural thing. Just my 2 cents, just to put it 2 cents, is like, I think it's like, and it's seen as like, oh, that person does not respect them. So that's kind of like how people see it.
What are you talking about?
So that's like, just what it thinks. I mean, that's kind of like in the mindset that I think.
What are you saying?
Ethiopia.
So, when you say a cultural thing, so we're talking about African American and black folk culture twerking?
No. I'm saying over there, like, if people do that, or like I think in collection stuff it's fine. They do it, but just like in the regular, like there's like parties, like there's like other restaurants and stuff, you don't see that happening. So
okay, but what I don't understand is culture. Martial arts and kung fu is culture in China. Where is it? Are you saying the twerking is a part of whose culture?
Oh no, I'm not saying it's this person's culture or that person's culture. I'm saying like, for example, like, oh yeah, I know. Hold on, I'm gonna get it.
Are you watching the chat room or anything?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so just focus on what you just talking to me.
I'm saying, no, I'm not, I'm saying that.
What is wrong with you?
I think I'm explaining myself.
You're not explaining anything. You're just kind of exasperated.
Okay.
Yeah, like, come, drop her off.
What do you mean? What you got for me, Ashley?
You know, I watched you a couple of times. I had a hurry into working out to call because I wanted to disagree with you, but on this topic, I don't at all.
You wanted to disagree. She's like, I was waiting to call in to argue with you.
On many other topics, I do disagree with you, but on this one, I completely agree. And if I was at that restaurant, I would be a woman that would stand up and say something because it hurts every part of my body to see black women.
You know, imagine I'm sitting over there eating a steak and you eating some chicken, next thing you know, somebody twerking next to us? You for real?
No, I couldn't. And I don't think for myself in a position to be in a restaurant like that, but if I did see that, if it did occur, I would say something.
What's crazy though, it was downtown Dallas, it really shouldn't be like that because downtown Dallas is expensive. But since you got me, what are the things you disagree with me on?
Well, staying on what you were talking about today, I will disagree with your approach. And as a black woman, how you approach that woman at the mall, there's so many ways you could do it for a black man to come up to a black woman. Like, you're too beautiful for me to see you gay. People are dying. Put that mask up, girl. I'm making you alive. There's just so many ways you could set it to say, that girl probably wasn't called beautiful for that reason. But it was something that you said, I care about you, I see you, put you alive. Look how you're looking out here, you look ridiculous. Don't even say love.
You know some men try that method and they still get the same response?
Okay, I didn't approach you in a rude way.
No, I didn't say you didn't approach her in a rude way.
Okay, but one of the young ladies was like late teens.
Yeah.
It would have been inappropriate for you to get all kind of like that. And see, here's the thing. Even if I say what you're saying,
yeah, I
should not have to go that far when I should just approach her as a grown black man and being professional. I should not have to, let me explain, I should not have to kiss her butt for her to do what she needed to do.
Thank you. That's how I felt.
Hey, because she was making people uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So my question to you, Ashley, is why is it that you, ladies like yourself think for a brother like myself to have to go over and beyond, and she's not even willing to live up to the minimum standards set by the society.
So I don't project that on you without me wanting to comply. There's so many times I find myself in situations with black women where I feel there's so much aggression, so much anger, that it almost makes me want to retaliate that way and react with that kind of emotion. But I have to understand her life isn't my life. And to some degree, I can understand that where she's coming from. I mean, you can just sit back and realize, what the black woman has to endure. And you always talk about stats. Let's talk about stats.
Hold on, but before you do that.
Yeah.
Earlier today, I was listening to Brie Larson. She plays Captain Marvel. Are you familiar? Okay. Brie Larson was getting run across the coals by other actors because people don't like her. And I was listening to a channel called Charisma on Command. And they were going over an interview Brie Larson had with a magazine called Wired. And the problem Brie Larson was having was because a simple question was being asked, and she was taking it and assuming it was negative and then responding. So that's why I feel like a lot of guys feeling like this stuff comes from. Taking a neutral thing and automatically assuming bad intent.
Of course.
But see, that's not a force. That is a mental defect in my opinion. You cannot project bad intent upon everyone and not include yourself.
No, but when I'm talking about black women. Look, I don't have that type of anger. I wasn't raised with that. I never saw that. So it's not in me to be like that. But it is in me to be sympathetic that every black woman didn't have the opportunities that I had. Didn't have a two-family home. Didn't come in a higher middle-class area. Was stripped down to feeling that my life is only what I see. And that's impoverished. That's my mom not working a job. That's the same.
Well, now understand, Ashley, we're in the most affluent mall in Atlanta, in the most affluent store. We weren't in there. We're not in the hood.
You're not in the hood, but now
but
it's access.
Listen.
Yeah.
When white people came over to address them, they got a completely different energy than when a brother who's anybody who's ever met me will tell you. He's what you see on camera. He's a nice guy. I was shocked at how nice he was in a suit. I don't roll up on people calling them bitches and hoes and check. But I will give back to you what you give back to me if you give me something I did not deserve. But the way that these two young sisters responded to a man old enough to be their father, when you had a white woman and a white man come over and get the master treatment.
And there you go. You just said it. You just said your answer right there.
But that's their answer. It's not
no, but the answer to your question is, why is a white person getting this treatment and a black man in a suit is getting this treatment? But if
that's why I said it's a mental defect.
Exactly.
But the accountability is on who? See what you we're on the same page except for when you told me the way I approached it. That means that's where I could never go with you. That still is me having to go extra over when somebody knows they have me.
That's true, and I can understand your point on that. And who wants to do a little bit extra? There is no negative to doing a little extra. There is no negative of changing your speech for that. For you to get the outcome that you want.
Where do you live?
I live in downtown LA.
Okay. I live in Atlanta, and I was listening to I walk around like this every day. Do you see this every day in LA? I do.
In the suit.
Yeah, now let me go ahead and show you. Do you see this every day?
I don't see this every day, no.
No. So this is already good enough to get all the benefit of the mother stuff you got.
You're right. You look great. You look
so, and if I approach you in a civil way, already dressed above and beyond, I should not get anything other than the minimum you would give to a white person.
But don't you think with the mentality of a young woman, like you said, you may look as dapper as you do, but you're still an N-word in the suit. Just like they said.
But again, I'm not talking to a 14-year-old. These women were adults, and that's their problem.
That is true, and I agree.
That's why I say, okay, so ultimately, what are you trying to do?
Pacify. You want him to pacify. Nobody is.
You're asking someone to have mental
like the other guys are trying to pacify because
what I'm asking is the women who claim to be stronger,
yeah, we need strong black women to stop with it.
don't need no men, equals, they say they are. And be the adults they claim to be.
And she has to be in that position and in that realm and in that box at a young 20. You said early 20s, late teens.
But it's at this age where many black women fall into this feminism, womanism. I don't need no man. I'm good. I'm independent. Scrubs and everything. All right, cool. But then be that. See, what she should have done is come into human markets that already requires you to have a mask on when you come in. They have to take their mask off. You can't go into the store. They have security at the door. Security says, here's a mask, here's hand sanitizer. When you go through the door, they make you pull it up. The young black men all pull it up. Even the ones who don't want to. But it's the black women who walk around saying, fuck your couch. This is the young black women that are being for the stores. I'll tell you why, Ashley. Because they didn't give me an answer. Then I didn't get a shot.
I think being a black man, and I never had a man in my household, or I never had a male teacher, all the people that had authority over me was my black mother. I'm not saying me, I'm saying black women. But my black mother, when I went to school, it was white men, it was white women. When I went to the hospital to take care of me, it was white doctors. And when I called for help, it was a white man, a police officer. So when a black man comes up to me, and when I say me, I'm continuing to say a black woman. She doesn't see you as authority. She sees you as someone provoking her. She sees you as the daddy that left. She sees you as someone I don't have to respect.
And this is the thing, I can accept it. But I can accept it, but I don't have to, I'm the world. I don't owe her understanding.
Correct.
She knows that she has an abnormal reaction to it. And it's on her. How about this? No different than if I had mommy issues and I looked at every black woman as the mother that hurt me. I could not walk around treating women as the mother that hurt me and get understanding from black women. Even if it was justified, you would still expect me to do something about it, no matter what.
I don't agree. I wouldn't expect you. I'm trying to live my life with the understanding that everyone is not at the place that you are at.
Okay,
I feel
so
like
you wouldn't expect a man to own his issues.
Oh no, I do expect a man to own his issues. I don't expect a woman
to own her issues.
Exactly, but I don't expect a man to own his issues that he does not see that they are there.
Well,
I don't think that young woman.
How about this, Ashley? How about this, Ashley? Whether she understands the issues, whether she's got the level of understanding or breakthrough,
when she knows they're there or not, they're there, and she's going to have to own it.
I agree. But if I know that what I'm doing is not working and I don't have an outlet of something that does work, if my friends are the same way, if my mother's the same way, if my aunt is the same way, if I go to my neighborhood and it's the same way, I don't have a clear understanding that why is she in this anyway? Did you see her with shopping bags?
Hold on. See, what you just said is a bunch of, if I don't have a clear understanding, and my mama, my auntie, but the fact is she went over the knees where stuff works. See, you can go and see where stuff works, even if you go back to where stuff doesn't. You have a choice of where you are. See, you're not going to have to go and take 100% accountability away from black women.
Not 100%. I don't agree. You're right.
This is where no, you're 100% accountable.
But you said take it away 100%. You're right. Everyone's 100% accountable for where they're at.
Exactly.
But you have to.
Are you familiar with the Howard trial?
No.
Back in the late 80s, early 90s, the black woman by the name of Howard was one of the controversial Asian men, Hispanic men, the only person in this country who ever had her behavior analyzed was the black woman. And she caught so much hell because she was just asking black women to sit back and understand that you are running your men away. Or you're with your mouth, your this, your that. I challenge all ladies to go back and look at this period of time because while I'm hearing what you're saying, I really am.
Yeah.
The net of it is black women are not winning. They are not getting what they say they want, and it is and human nature. We are problem solvers. We stop doing what doesn't work. Black women continue to do it. What was she going to gain from talking shit to me? She assumed that I was not going to knock the furniture out of her mouth. That's why she said what she said.
Right.
See, that's the problem. Black women are far removed from any consequences of their own actions. So where they can stand up on a couch in $1 million restaurant and feel like the owner was wrong. It doesn't take psychoanalytics to know that you're going to get a bad outcome when you don't have consequences.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm going to take a look at that book because I really trying to see your mentality on this because I do want to hold, and I do hold, black women accountable for what they do. I just feel like being the lowest, and black women are the lowest on the pole. No one wants a black woman. No one, we disregard black women.
Why do you think that is?
Why do I think that is?
What do you hear from black men as to why they
So I think the majority that you hear are their attitude and their inability to cooperate.
Inability.
And their aggression.
Mm-hmm. So, and also the weight. So
you point that out. I agree with you on that as well.
So the attitude.
Yes.
If you've ever worked with a black woman, you know that when she goes to work, she can get her attitude under control with her paycheck.
Correct.
So it is something that she can choose to control.
Correct.
The inability to cooperate is an extension of attitude. They're, masculine, all that other kind of stuff, and then weight. Weight is you go back from 1990 on back, you didn't see 300-pound black men. Everything that you've mentioned is 100% under the control of said black women. And black men have been saying, it's your attitude and ability to cooperate and your size. And what have we gotten? They've gotten more of the same. We got to the point where women like Lizzo.
Yeah, I hate when you keep mentioning her.
But I use her because she's an avatar. We got a woman besides Lizzo who says she doesn't want to deal with any guys her size. She wants a guy to be fit with a six-pack.
Right, and not right. And unfortunately, that's an example that out of all the beautiful black women, black singers, and black actresses that could be a staple and push to the front, they're going to push a narrative that we're all big, loud, obnoxious.
Well, then why can't Halle Berry people be like that? Why can't Halle Berry or Lisa Ray, two beautiful black women, equally as why can't they be like that? Halle Berry goes on the people person on the planet, and I know David Justice. I know David Justice. Her ex-husband. Halle Berry is a black women's attitude towards black men.
Well, where was her father?
You're saying you're at the bottom. But what you do have is you have the man that other women want to do. Black men are nowhere close to being near white men as far as the financial side. Black men are at the bottom too.
Right, they are.
But sexual marketplace value, number 2, right under white men.
Correct.
Why? Because in spite of the average black man perceived educational value, income, this, that, he has not even talking about the bedroom. Black men raised in the matriarch, more likely to listen to the input of those women versus non-black men, white men, Hispanic men, Asian men, they don't really listen to those. So if you're at the bottom and you got the man who is sought after by other women still trying to work with you, why are black women continue to get black men louder, bigger, and even worse? We're trying to get purple hair now.
Baby.
I mean, come on, man.
Nigga, somebody teach your damn man.
I'll cut this really answer. All black men want is a woman to work with. Can you work with her? Can you cooperate with her? And I'll ask you, you want to be married?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I asked this question the other day of anybody. What is it going to take for you individually to happily submit to the authority of one black man?
Oh, I come from a mother who submits easily. As soon as that black, you mean the characteristics he needs to have?
Well, I'm just saying that's a question that black women need to answer for themselves. That's because but yeah, you should come back in. It's free to debate. Why don't you,
I'm gonna call
you
back
should have said hello while I was out in LA. I was there last week.
Oh, really?
I was there. I did remote from LA all last week. So, yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna call in on another time where a topic that
Come on,
that I have a different stance, but I think we are in agreement on this.
All right then. Keep up, man.
Thank you.
All right, guys. I don't want to talk to you guys. Guys, don't make me have to be the ladies down this show. Okay. Yeah, man. You have to hear opposing points of view, guys. You got to hear opposing points of view. Who do we have next? We have Yasmin, because she has the picture up.
Well, I'm learning from some areas I need more too.
Still sharpening. Hello?
So, hopefully me.
What do you got for me?
I feel like
is twerking class?
Oh, but if you pay money to be at a restaurant and they're playing like the song, I don't really see that. Why make a big announcement? Then pull them to the side. Be like, hey,
How old are you?
could you stop? I'm 26.
Set myself back.
You
when I
pulled
see
it to the
that.
side 3 times.
Do you understand?
3 times you have to pull it to the
And
side.
I have grown, so that's
But they
why-
paid money. It's not like they walk
Oh,
in
no,
there
no,
for
no,
free.
no, ma'am.
Oh, pat on the back.
We're gonna do this. We're gonna
That's
do
why
this
I'm glad I
right.
corrected you on that phone.
You
See,
said
no.
you
It's
could have
like,
pulled it to
I
the
have
side.
grown. That's right. You don't know.
And I said, he pulled it to the side 3 times. I asked you, how many times should he have to pull it to the side? You didn't answer that question.
I guess 3 is the magic number.
Right. And on the 4th time is when you give him a deal.
Okay.
So tell me why you paid
You asked
for
me 3
food
times about twerking too.
entitles you
And the
to
4th
stand
time
up
you
on
got pissed
furniture.
like, look.
Oh
Put your
yeah,
hands
he's
against
not
the glass
wrong.
of a window.
So that's why.
It's not like he straight went off. That's what they gonna try to play like he straight went off on
Yeah,
us.
because now they got like 10.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me why you paying for food entitles you to stand up and twerk in a restaurant.
Cause like I heard they were playing music, like they were studying the mood. Like,
Right, they play. Okay, man, but music is played in a unique place.
Well,
Why are
ambiance.
you? See, it didn't say. So because they were playing music, that means you are free to do that.
No, wasn't there like a certain set of music they were playing?
Yeah, they were playing bounce music, but it was still being. There's no dance for it. It's being played. See, what I'm showing you is the irrationality of some of these things. He should have did this. He did that 3 times. Oh. Well, then he should have did this. He did that. Well, wasn't he playing music? When are you going to just say she was wrong?
She was wrong, but if you're gonna play
But see,
certain
hold on, let me stop you right there.
like what do you expect?
Anything you say after, before, but means nothing. Argument. You see what you just did? She was wrong, but so she basically just said she just omitted all that. She was. If you're going to play music, then what? He was wrong, but if you're going to play music, then... Well, yeah, because you said she was wrong, but if you're going to play music like that, finish the thought.
And what do you expect? Like, what are you supposed to do? Ballroom dancing? Or
what I expect you to do is to sit your ass in a seat like a healthy-minded adult and eat your meals. Because to know where you are and not act like an animal. You're not on the dance floor, you're at a restaurant. No one was dancing. It's just because there was a DJ there. And he may have been playing bounce music. See, what you're basically doing is trying to absolve a black woman all accountability for her actions. And I could make, what you're saying is so laughable, it's easy. So if I play music, I should be able to predict the outcome of all black women. So how about this? Your name is Yasmin?
It's Yasmin.
Yasmin. So here's what I do. If I play No Matter, Just Don't Bite It, or if I play some sexual song too, that means you should just come over here and break me up, right?
No.
Well, wait a minute. The music playing, what do you say?
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, what you did is you go through extraordinary lengths to give black women the benefit of the doubt instead of saying she was wrong. If you were on a romantic date with your boo, would you want a woman working next to you?
No, I wouldn't want
that. So my question is, why not just come into that? Thinking about it, everybody else in the restaurant, what they were there versus what she wanted to do because she was spending a funky few fucking dollars. See? Thank you. And what I'm showing is, this is why I tell you guys, remember, always follow their money. Their money tells the truth. A lot of women feel like, because I'm spending some money, I should go like what I want to do.
I hope nobody screen recorded that.
I mean, you and I both know. It ain't like she ordered the most expensive thing on the menu. She might have ordered some chicken wings. You don't know what she ordered. She could just stand up there. Number one. Number two, you ladies got to start getting the whole story before you start making jokes. You got to start reading the story. You got to start getting all the details before you go get your emotions involved, because it becomes too hard to stop you. Once you've already got your emotions involved,
I say, you good. Get close and let's get you on.
Thanks for coming. Let me do this. Who is this person? Oh.
Tabby.
Hey, Leah.
You want to go on and say one.
Are you stupid? I'll bring it. There's a link in the call. Don't call me.
You need some water.
Oh, just some water.
Ice water.
You start clowning when
I don't
you
like
do
that stuff. I saw one of the ginger ale.
Alexa.
It's alright.
Oh, sorry.
I prefer water.
Don't come on here. Miss Hudson, what's going on? Is that really your name? Alright, I'm gonna call you A, okay? Because I don't want it to trigger my thing over here. What do you got for me?
Yeah, I agree that twerking is not classy. But I can also agree with what Anthony was saying. You know, when you kind of have that music around the restaurant, it attracts certain types of females, but it doesn't give those females the validation, like, to go twerk in that man's restaurant. So, but yeah, that's very unclassy for me. If I see that, I kind of get uncomfortable. It's embarrassing too, because as a black woman, you know, black women in general, I kind of, it's very hard for them in general because they always have to show themselves some type of way. So they don't always follow in that stigma of being ghetto and ratchet. And as an 18-year-old, I'm running that the hard way. And it's a little bit annoying because I don't want to be seen that way, and I don't act that way. You know, I just want to mind my business, go do what I have to go do. But if I mess up one time,
did you have any friends that you see doing this kind of stuff?
No, it's mostly on social media, and I stay away from social media because sometimes it's just embarrassing. And
well, I would say that's what we don't need to do. See, what we don't need to do is have the quote-unquote people with sense acting like it doesn't exist. See, that's what my generation did. My generation saw gangster rap and all this stuff happening, and we just put our head in the sand and went the other way, and let conversation be dominated. So we need to go back the other way. We need you on social media, you and women like you, showing a counter narrative. You cannot see the high ground to Lizzo and the twerk gang, because that'll be the only story out there. You gotta do your part. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Alright, there we go. Yeah, we can't do that. See, my generation, when all this gangster rap and hip hop stuff came on, we stuck our heads down and went to work, and 10 years later, it was over. There was no more Babyface and Luther Vandross. It was all pistol grip, pump on my lap and all. It was all, it's like, well, damn. And what happened? Well, you left the vacuum, you left the void, and that's what filled the void. They kept putting out there all the smooth stuff on the way. I don't know your name, iPhone. What's your name? Unmute yourself.
Hi, my name is Danielle. Can you hear me?
Yeah, what do you got for me?
Here's what I have for you. I've been watching you for about a month or so, and I really like your conversation, and I'm in agreement with you. And when Pistol Grip Pump and all of that stuff was on, there was a place in the time for it. But I'm in agreement with you. That man made an investment in his restaurant, and when I saw that for the first time to go viral, I agreed with you. I said, you know, I was insulted. You know, because my brother had a restaurant. I live in Los Angeles, and we worked very hard to get that restaurant off the ground. You know, it's a very hard industry, and for people to not take that seriously and to not understand the financial investment, I agree with you.
People don't realize how much it costs to run a restaurant. You break a plate or break some glasses or whatever, that comes out of the money.
Yeah,
they don't understand that you got to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go do food prep. Because you got to prepare for lunch and then dinner. You got to wash everything and make sure it's clean and not get. I work in restaurants. Believe me, I understand. I'd have came out of the kitchen and haven't hurt. Trust. I'm going to mess with my food service and my money. You can tell that I know what I'm talking about.
Yes,
how quickly do you think that table's going to turn with her standing up there showing her natural act?
Well, it wouldn't have happened, not with the Paul.
That's right.
It wouldn't have happened. Because we would have escorted her out, you know.
There you go. There you go. I appreciate it, Ma. Thanks for calling me.
Right.
See, we need more of that. We are going to have to start putting a standard back on individuals and a group. We cannot just act like, well, I'm just going to keep to myself. I don't want to say nothing. That's what got us here right now. You got to say something because at worst, you got to act like maybe they don't know. And you can actually tell them something. Now, you ain't got to go over there and, I'm quite sure the first time you said something wasn't like this. About the third or fourth time, it's kind of like, All right, Deborah, what's going on? Deborah, you're next. I was raised in the hood, what? Deborah, go ahead. Unmute yourself. I was raised in the hood, what the brothers over there be shooting. Mr. Greer, pump on my lap at all time. Mr. Greer, pump on my lap at all time. Mr. Greer, Deanne, go ahead and unmute yourself, because Deborah's not. Mr. Greer, pump on my lap at all time. Tricks be out for your blind side. Because in the 90s, you got to watch over your shoulder. Hello? Who's speaking? Deborah? What do you got? What do you got for me?
Embarrassing that he had to it's embarrassing that he had to make a statement like that. It appears to me that most of the women are at least 30 or over.
Yeah.
And they should know that. It's disrespectful.
I thank you for calling in, Mom. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, dear.
I keep sipping on that Hennessy. I keep rolling to that real fly shit. I just want to know if you can feel my shit. I'll keep sipping to that real fly. I just want to sip on that Hennessy. Hello? Hello, Zoom user. What's your first name? What do you got for me? Oh, you got YouTube playing in the background. Okay, go ahead.
She's pointing out everything except for the problem at hand, which is that you're at a restaurant twerking. I've never been to any restaurant where you were able to twerk on the wall. So to think you were going to a classier, more high-scale, probably more expensive restaurant, and a lady's twerking on the wall is
She had a dress on, Mom. She had a dress on.
Oh yeah, pressed up against the glass and everything. People probably complained about her, and if you ask her multiple times, why can't she just follow the directions? And then I understand where people are coming from is the way he addressed it, but that is his investment, his restaurant, and she should be abiding by that.
You know that he asked her 3 times before he had to do it.
Yeah, but of course that isn't on camera.
Of course. And so I played at the beginning, I played him asking her to get down off the wall, and 75% of his clients are female. So, yeah, but of course, there's always going to be spoon to show the worst part of sensation. But I appreciate it, Mom. Thanks for calling me.
No problem, yeah,
You too.
Maybe she's like, I would like living in a country like where we have like that's how
I might have it even happen. He's like, hey, that's my song. All right, man, sit down. She said, the heck with it. I'm getting up here and drop it again. Yeah, I'm ready.
This is bullshit. Look at this. All right.
Yeah.
They gonna back away. They gonna agree with you. They gonna back off.
No, you gotta get through these calls. Okay, I'm gonna go for another 15 minutes. Hello? What do you have for me? Hi. Here, what do you got for me?
I have moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now, there's Sky Rizzy.
What's up, YouTube? Frontman Podcast back with another video, and the tree has survived another week. I don't know if y'all can see it. It has survived another week, but tomorrow, the tree is coming down, alright? The tree is coming down. Today's video is going to be IG Live got heated, put a price tag on you, Kevin Sanders. Another Kevin Sanders video, because he's just been producing heat. Alright? And I react to what I like. He's just been producing heat, so I got to continue to trail. I haven't seen this video in particular, but I mean, if he's been consistently dropping heat, you gotta be some heat, right? You gotta be some heat. Alright, y'all, before I get into it though, gotta do the YouTube stuff, man. Let's go with 1,000 subscribers by February. We nailed it. We did it by like January 6th. That's because the man is the like and the subscribe button. You gotta give me the HBO special. You know what the HBO special is? That's to help your brother out, alright? Hit the like and subscribe button if you're picking up what I'm putting down. Alright, what you waiting for? Hit it. Just hit it right now. Just pause. Hit it right now. Alright, we back at it. Let's get right into the video. I gotta do the YouTube stuff. This is how it works. Now we can get into the nitty gritty. IG Live got heated, put a price tag on you. Kevin Sanders.
What percentage of modern women are fit for marriage? 90% of men said, of the 15,000 men said 90% of you are not.
Okay, because I'm assuming he's talking about his polls. Kevin Samuel, he does these polls, and since I've been watching this video, they pop up on my my feed. So he's saying 15,000 of the people that have watched, like, kind of, and it doesn't even have, like, I'm not subscribed, so I guess I should if I've watched the video. But basically he's saying, so 15,000 people reacted to the poll he put out. Okay, and I don't know. Well, let me see. He said 90%, I believe, of men said that black women were unfit for marriage. Let's continue. I just wanted to get that out there, just so y'all know it's not like some nationwide statistic. This is just from his audience, okay? So just before, I'm not trying to spread the misinformation, but this is from his audience, and that might have been in context earlier in the conversation, but the video starts here. So let's continue.
In general or black women? Black women?
Black women.
Black women.
90%. And they want to ask women the same question. 82% of women say they've been
Of black women? Or of
yeah.
80% of women said black women are not suitable for marriage? Wow.
If so, if you okay, take yourself out of it. If
that's circumstantial. And what we're doing here on this channel, what I'm trying to do is to close that gap. Or even if I'm making videos, I get thousands of views, even if 1 or 2 or 3 women and men alike can see some of the content I make and understand it and grasp it and apply it, I feel like it can make a little difference. You know what I mean? It might not be a big difference. I'm not the biggest guy in the world. I don't have the biggest platform in the world. Whatever. But just a couple people makes all the difference to them. All the difference in the world to them. Alright, so I like to think what I'm doing has an impact on that number. Hopefully we can close that gap. But we have to have hard conversations that nobody wants to have. That's the only way we can close the gap. And that's the only way we can get anything done happen. Things don't get done without hard conversation. That's how it works. And it takes some pressure. Right? It takes some self-reflection, but that's how it works. Just close that gap, black women, black men, men in general, women in general. Because there's been such a big divide between men and women lately. I blame it, me personally, I blame it on the feminist movement. You know, these demonetization things is going crazy nowadays, right? And I hate that $1 subscribers, so I'm monetized now, baby. Alright, so the feminists, I believe that's a big part of why there's a great divide between men and women nowadays. I ain't gonna wait in the middle of the video, let's continue. I ain't gonna get into a whole video in a video. You know me? So let's get it. Let's keep it.
you thought that the majority of sisters were fit for marriage, why can 1 in 4 of you assume they didn't marry anybody? Black women were taught to be independent.
I like that she's listening. It seems to me that she's listening, and she's obviously she doesn't like the information she's getting, because who would ever want to hear that about themselves or people they hold to high standards? But it seems like she's just like she's defensive about it.
I was looking at the other one.
Thinking of something that just well it's because black men don't want a strong woman. You know what I mean? Like she ain't doing all that. She's taking the information in and listening. So far, I don't know what happens later, but so far it seems like she's listening.
You're probably right, because I've been engaged before and I cut off the engagement.
I think I may have seen a bit of that. I don't think you saw it. I don't think you saw that. It's a good one. What about it?
It's in our nature to push you further.
The men left the church because they know the truth and they should have stopped trying to live that lie.
Prepare your taste buds. Kit Kat Duos mint and dark chocolate.
I was about to put this one on with this. No.
That one. You watch that one now. Or whatever. You go ahead and watch this. Oh.
And women, they think they're better than other women. Like those, they cheat like and stuff, they look down on black women. And that's another thing. Some of the other things looking down, like, don't forget.
If she was ugly, could she have gotten where she was in life? Well, notice how one service, right? And Getty, I was like, what is he doing that for? It was easily 8-10 to 1 in that one service, right? And what I started to notice, what I started to realize is I'm like, man, the single women outnumber the single men in this church by a large margin. Now what you're going to start to notice is the women of my mother's and my grandmother's generation, they moved a heck of a lot different than the women of this generation. Just completely different. Completely different. And even my grandmother, when she was, you know, in transitioning, she said, I feel sorry for you, baby. He's like, these women today ain't nothing like, you know, the women I grew up with. And that's the truth. Anybody who's being honest will say that they have heard that the women today are not like the women of yesterday. But what I want you guys to hear is I want you guys to hear 3 different women who don't know each other. But what you're going to hear is you're going to start hearing some, oh my God. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Who could have focused, who could have planned? If I tried to pay $1 million, I could not have planned for a better 2 or 3 weeks. All culminating with today. Culminating with today is all over social media. All over Insta Twitter, Facegram, YouBook. It's everywhere. Political pundit, conservative commentator Tommy Lauren has gone viral with the video that she made on Instagram. And for good reason. If you guys haven't seen it, it's pretty it's pretty amazing. I would just put it that way. It's pretty amazing. And you see the title of the video? I said, Tommy Lauren has something to teach black women. You need to listen to this. Black women, yes, you need to listen to Tommy Lauren.
Not for the reasons you think he is.
Thank you to all the moderators. Thank you to all the Patreons. Thank you to everybody who makes this channel possible.
This is a good one.
Talk about getting red.
This is a good one. I remember listening to this at work.
Fragrance of the night. Baco Rock 540 extract from Papam. You know Baco Rock this? Oh. But let's get into it. Let me go ahead and pop this chat box out over here because it's hard to see it over there. Moderators, I can't really see what's going on in the chat room. When we get over, if we get over 2,000 people tonight, I'll go ahead and switch it to slow chat move because it starts to move too fast. But tonight, we're going to get into it, man. Tommy Lauren has got something to teach black women. Now, I know some women are probably going to already be upset because they're like, who is Tommy Lauren? Who is Tommy Lauren? Who is Tommy Lauren? This is Tommy Lauren. And all her blonde hair, hazel eyes or whatever, that's Miss Tommy Lauren. We're going to put her right over there so she ain't all over my camera. This woman right here has something to teach black women. I have been trying to do my best
talking about, trying to find out what men want, men that are out there trying to become high value, trying to become either Blue Henry or Blake Henry or a hit squad, trying to get out there and become the best version of themselves, getting the top 10% of all men, masters of the universe, that kind of thing, and then the top 20% of women who are really tend to be drawn and attracted to that group of men. It's far easier for it's far easier to communicate a direct message to a man. As simple as that. It's far easier to do that. It's not crazy to say or to understand it. Some people have said, like Rebecca Lynn Pope, why she no longer matchmakes for women? Because of some of women's unrealistic standards. My computer's running a little slow, guys, so I gotta try to get caught up over here. A lot of women's unrealistic standards in today's dating scene. And that really ticked quite a few women off.
But you know what fault that is?
Well, it just did. It simply did. It simply did. So instead of going back and forth with a bunch of people that I really don't know, that you don't know, I just say let's get into it. Let's get into the content and let's see what Tommy Lauren has to teach black women. Here we go. Hold on to your hats. This is going to be a barn burner. Let's see, can we get her? Is she already talking yet? How are we doing tonight, people? Nope, it's not coming through yet. Let me start this again. You build it as you fly, baby. 1, 2, nope, that's what it is. Give me a second, guys. It's storming up. It is raining really hard down here in Atlanta too. So if it goes out or something, you know what you need to do. Just hit refresh and we'll keep it moving. All right.
I'm gonna let you guys trickle in before I start talking because this is important.
Did you guys get the notification?
So, waiting for you guys to get here. So normally I do final thoughts and I do Instagram lives and I do rants about politics. There's plenty to talk about in politics right now. Do it every day, it's a great time. But something, as of recently, has been on my mind. And I consider myself a teacher, a helper, someone who could possibly inspire people to be better. So with that being said, this is a PSA for all the men out there and all the boys who think they're men, but they're actually boys. This is going to be the summer of canceling boys. Now, from my own personal experiences and the experiences of all of my friends, which range in age from 24 to 36, we've all got issues. Now, I will also say this. All of my friends are attractive. All of my friends are successful. All of my friends have something going on. Almost every single one of them have an issue with men. And you have to start looking at that and thinking, if an age range of that many people, including myself, living really all over the country and being blonde, brunette, short hair, long hair, I mean, tan, super white, super pale. I mean, these women range in every body type and everything. They're all successful, they're all intelligent, they're all good people. But if all of these women, including myself, are having issues, then I have to think, it might not be us. It might be you. It might be men. It might be men. Now, I've often talked about the pussification of America and how men are no longer men. I talk to my mom about this a lot, and she says, well, maybe it's just the guys in Texas. Maybe it's just the guys in Los Angeles. Maybe it's just the guys, it is not just the guys in Los Angeles, Nashville, Dallas, and they're not any better in the Midwest. Quite frankly, I think they're trash all over this country, and the age range of about 20 to I think about 55, maybe even 60. A lot of men are trash. A lot of men don't know how to treat women. A lot of men don't know how to really, quite frankly, pull their heads out of the sand and pay attention. So I am going to help you. And these are some of the things that I've experienced. These are some of the things my friends have experienced. I'm just going to lay a few things out. They haven't all happened to me. Some of them have just happened to my friends. A lot of them have happened to me. So, the first one, and I've made notes, by the way. I've made notes. This is how invested I am in this, because I've been thinking about this for about 2 weeks solid now. First question for men. If you like a girl, if you're even somewhat interested in a girl, you need to ask yourself this question. Are you single? No, I don't mean are you kind of single, seeing 5 people, dating somebody, still kind of in a relationship, kind of broken up, kind of on again, off again, kind of married, kind of divorced. Are you actually single? That means single. You have nobody. You have no complications. You have no attachments. You are actually single. That is the first question, believe it or not, that needs to be asked. And ladies, you should be asking it, because in 2020, it's not a given anymore that a guy that's actively pursuing you is actually single. So that's the first thing. The second thing that I think is very important, that men don't seem to understand. There are very few women out there, and I'm speaking from personal experience as well as from all of my friends and all the women, quite frankly, that I talk to. There is not a woman out there that wants to be your pen pal. She doesn't want to get your texts, your good morning texts, your good night texts, your random through the day texts, if they don't follow up with a plan to actually, here's the kicker, in person hang out. Now I know what you're saying, oh, it's COVID, people can't hang out in person. This has not been a 4-month problem. This has been a 5-year problem that I've experienced with men and my friends have experienced with men. Women do not want a pen pal. We don't want a texting pal. We quite frankly don't care if you text us all day or if you don't text us at all. If you're not going to make a plan to actually see us in person, not interested. And if you do have a woman out there that just wants to be your pen pal, it's probably because she has a boyfriend, or a husband, or a wife, or whatever. You don't want a pen pal. But that also leads me to my second point. This is me backwards for you guys. Make plans. Make a plan. Do not assume that you can text somebody randomly in the middle of the day, what are you doing, or text them at midnight, or 1 a.m., or 2 a.m., or even just within hours of when you actually want to see them, and think that they're going to be available. I personally, once I get home and I take my makeup off and I'm watching TV, I'm no longer interested. So if you didn't make a plan earlier in the day, or better yet, a day or 2 or 3 in advance, I'm not interested. I don't want to hang out anymore, because that ship has sailed. Make a plan. I want to hang out with you at this time. It doesn't have to even be a date. I want to see you at this time. Are you free at this time? Or, when are you free? I will accommodate my schedule to see you. When are you free? I want to see you. I know it's not rocket science, but men of 2020, it seems like it's pretty difficult to figure out. And I'm not a feminist, so please don't take this as a feminist rant. I love men. I think men are great. I think men have failed themselves, and they failed us. And I'm just trying to help you out, because I think there are a lot of really great guys out there who need a little help. And I don't think that there are a lot of women that are stepping up and saying these things, and not... the first time I swear to God. Quite frankly, I don't think that there are a lot of women that aren't raging feminists, that don't look like Lena Dunham, that are saying these things to you. So I'm going to go ahead and say them, because they need to be said. I am really so sick of my friends having to deal with trash men. I'm tired of dealing with trash men, so I'm going to help you out. Make plans. So let's go through these lists again, because I know y'all love lists. Number 1, are you single? Number 2, make a plan. Nobody wants a pen pal. We want to actually see you. If not, don't text us, because it's a waste of our time, and we don't want to see it on our phones. Got it? All right. Next thing. Value. Okay? Value. Take that in. Just repeat it to yourself until it makes sense. Okay? If you want to date a girl that has nothing going on, then that's fine. But please do not mix in people like me and my friends who have something going on with your other girls that have nothing going on. And by nothing going on, I mean this. There is no job that is unimportant. There is no job that's not valuable or that's not worthy. It is. But if you want to mix in people like me and people like my friends who are go-getters, who work really hard, who make their own money, who are talented, skilled, ambitious, please don't mix us in with the Tatianas. We don't want to be there. If that's what you want, find them. Please, for the love of God, do not mix us in with them because we don't want to be there. And quite frankly, we take it as an insult if we find out that you are also talking to 5 Tatianas who have nothing going on. People like me and my friends are going to be insulted by that. And there's almost really no coming back from it. So if you want that kind of a girl, the kind of girl who's just kind of happy going through the motions of life, not really super ambitious, hasn't really found herself yet, doesn't really have a whole lot going on other than she's pretty, please just go after them. And please do not mix us in. We don't want to be there. I promise you. So value. There's a lot of women out there that I know that are my good friends who have amazing jobs, who work really hard, but who can't seem to find a decent guy, even if they go up in age 5 to 10 to 15 years, because those guys all want to be with 21-year-olds who have nothing going on. It's very unfortunate. I don't think it's going to be fulfilling. But I would say to the men out there, kind of maybe find a woman that you can talk to, communicate with, might actually have her shit together, might actually be ambitious and have something going on or want to have something going on. I don't care what she does. She doesn't have to be on TV. She doesn't have to be a PhD. She doesn't have to be a television producer. She doesn't have to own her own company, but be ambitious and have something going on. Those women out there are going to be a lot more fulfilling to you. You're actually going to enjoy your time. And if you actually might want a sustainable and healthy and stable relationship, that's probably the kind of girl you're going to need to find. Not the Tatianas who just want to look cute and post Instagram stories. Now, I love a good Instagram story. Y'all know I do. I love a good boomerang. I love a good whatever. But if that's all you do, men, if that's all she does, probably Houston, we have a problem. I'm just going to let you in on a little tip. The next thing on my list is this: consistency. It really does not help me or my friends or any woman in general if you are really cool and you're really interested when you first start talking to them, and then give it 3, 4, 5 days, and all of a sudden you're not consistent anymore. You don't make plans, you don't really care, you kind of fade in and out, you're talking to 5 other Tatianas. Consistency is important. Now, if you want to be inconsistent and you want to ghost and you want to fall off the radar, that's fine, but I'm going to give you a pro tip. People like me and people like my friends, we aren't going to really give a shit after that. We don't really care. The F's have been given and we're kind of done. I'll tell you this from personal experience. Once I'm turned off, I am turned off. And I don't care anymore. Because at one point, I probably did care. At one point, my friends, they probably did care. They probably did like you because you expressed interest and maybe you were cool and maybe you were kind of fun to hang out with. But if you're not consistent and you fall off the radar, I give you maybe 1 to 2 chances to fix that, because I'm a very direct communicator. Women, this is important. I will communicate to you. If your communication isn't great, I will let you know that. I will let you know that more effort is needed. But if you don't heed that warning and I have to warn you twice, I'm done at that point, because I don't really care anymore. Now I'm done. Now I don't care. And I know my friends who are watching this are thinking and saying the same thing, because we have these conversations on an almost daily basis. Once you turn us off, we don't care anymore. So let that be a warning to you. You're probably not going to circle back. They always come back. They always come back. But when you're ready to come back, I probably don't care anymore. So if you want to switch up, stay there. Pro tip. My last thing on my list is also very important. Don't be, excuse my language, don't be a bitch. Don't be a bitch. Don't be a bitch. If you have been failed and you lost a woman of value, like myself or my friends, and then we don't really care anymore, don't be a bitch. Don't be butthurt. You did it to yourself, okay? And it's no longer my problem. Now, it's become a personal problem of yours. So don't be a bitch. And by the way, if I'm no longer interested because your effort is shitty, That's not me being a bitch. That's not me being difficult. That's me having a standard in which I expect from people. I do have high standards and high expectations. My friends have high standards and high expectations. Do you want to know why? We've worked for those. Okay? We work hard. We're successful. We take care of ourselves. We try to look cute. We have a desire to be something more each day. Okay? That's why we have the ability to be somewhat what you call difficult. It's not difficult. We just have a baseline standard. And if you can't meet that standard, that's okay. A lot of men cannot. But if you are one of those men out there, and I have them all over my DMs, sometimes I check them, and you guys are like, what would it take to be with someone like you? What would it take to be with your friends? What are girls like you? What are they looking for? I laid them out for you very simply there. In order to have a shot with a girl like me, or girls like my friends, girls that are worth a damn, you don't really have to be Brad Pitt. You don't have to be famous. You don't even really have to make a lot of money or have a really fantastic job. You just have to be determined. You have to be in some way successful in that you want to attain some certain kind of success for yourself. You're driven. You have goals. You can handle a woman with standards. That's not going to turn you off. And you're going to put in the effort to be with somebody like myself or my friends. We deserve that. And we will not compromise our standards. I tell you this, it will be a cold day in hell when I chase a man. I know that's the same thing for my friends as well. And if my friends are listening and they're thinking about chasing a man, please, for the love of God, do not. Because there is not one single man on planet Earth, okay, that is worth making any woman feel like she is not good enough. I don't care how hot a girl is, how smart, how successful, how rich. We have all dealt with men who treat us like we are not good enough. No, the problem is we are too enough, and you can't handle it. So, those are my checklists. Again, I will go time in case you are just tuning in. Number 1, are you single? No, really. 2, make plans. We don't want a pen pal. 3, value. Value someone who has value. Consistency. Be consistent. Don't be great and then fade out. And then don't fade out and then think that you're going to fade back in, because it ain't going to work. And last but not least,
you fade out.
If all else fails,
you fade out.
Be a bitch.
To sleep?
Hope you guys have all enjoyed my PSA, my Instagram Live. I love you all. Hope I gave you some valuable tips and advice. But hey, those are just my final thoughts from Nashville, Tennessee, in my kitchen. God bless. And take care.
Tommy Lauren, if you just took Tommy Lauren out,
calling, buying gifts,
and you could have just put any sister in, that was the same playbook. And I mentioned that when I did that colorism stream, that I said, yes, colorism does exist, but it's not the main thing. I tied it all into simply this. Tommy Lauren is a high-value woman from a resource standpoint. And she wants a high-value man, a man that she feels like is on her hypergamic level. But at best, she is an eternal 7. She is a cute girl. She's an adjustable 6 that could go from 6 to 8, really dressed up. But her life is really closer to 6. She's cute. And her issue is that she wants high-value men. And she wants to be treated like a pretty, beautiful, or gorgeous woman. And the way she's buying into these men, you're not still muted, man. Come on. Sound is fine. Sound is fine. So she wants a high-value man, and she wants to be treated like a high-value man. Oh, let me let you guys catch up. Where you guys at, man? I know we hear you. You guys need to understand something. YouTube is on a delay. We have weather issues going on here, and you're going to have to deal with it. This is not live TV. There's not 50 people in here. There's one person here. There's no cameraman, there's no sound man, there's no somebody on the teleprompter. There's no lighting. No somebody behind the script. There's one freaking person. So, catch back up. All Tommy Lauren was basically doing is she was running the I deserve a high value man playbook. Why? Because I'm the crap. I'm a single woman. I'm a high earner. I'm this, I'm that. And she started out with her list, but here's the problem. Tommy Lauren, adjustable 6. An adjustable 6, which means she can be a 6 up to an 8, but for the most part she leans in that cute range. And she wants a man that's not on her looks level. Back into the list. You gotta be single. I agree, you need to be single. But ladies, like it or not, you guys wanted this deregulated open sexual market. This is what you got. Don't text without plans. Unfortunately, you and your girlfriends, women have lowered the price of casual sex. So now you got Netflix and chill. You want fine dining treatment in a fast food market. Make plans. But here's where she started to go off the rails. Value. Why? Why does she want you to value? Because that's what she has to pay with. She is not hot enough to be trying to demand the high price she's asked. She's a solid Honda Accord and she wants Mercedes prices. How many times have we heard these same things come from too many of our sisters? I got my degree, I got a good job, I heard people in the chat room saying, she sounds like a lot of sisters, and that's true. Be consistent, don't ghost her, and don't be a beef. That's what she said. Tommy Lauren was reading out of the woman's playbook who she chose to become an ambitious, career-driven woman. And she said, guys don't want a 27-year-old woman in the danger zone. Because she's 27 and in the danger zone. Guys don't want a 27-year-old woman in the danger zone. Danger zone. They would rather have a 21-year-old who's just sitting over there being pretty. And that's where we're at. So black women, remember when I said colorism? Colorism does exist. It does. It does. But just like however, isms, I rarely see a woman of any skin tone who is feminine, beautiful, inspirational, cooperative, easy to get along with, friendly, who has the kind of problems. What did she say? I'm a direct communicator. That's another word for being a ball breaker. Her last point was don't be a bee, and that's really what a lot of guys consider women like that. So, sisters, what is Tommy Lauren teaching you? She's teaching you that even if you're a thin white woman and you have this kind of attitude, you cannot get a high-value man to stick around. She's teaching you that if you're a thin white woman with blonde hair, if you act like this, you'll get a harsh kind of treatment. Remember when I said it's not your skin tone as much as it's your attitude? It's an attitude. So yes, I'm trolling in the title. You doggone right I am. Because I need to get your attention so you can realize that Tommy Lauren has been getting drugged in the media. She is a conservative pundit. People have been calling her a feminist, left and right. People are like, wow, she's lost it. So much so that we got to talk about something. But before we get into that, man, we got to get these likes up. And I'll go back and I'll cut that part of that segment out. But here's the thing, we gotta get the likes up, man, because what's going on over here? She's been getting drugged to death
drugged for filth in the media.
Okay.
Why? Because here's something that black people can learn. Let me take that back. Why is Tommy Lauren getting drugged? Because she is playing the old game. While you used to just say anything you want to about men. But this cancel culture, online, men have been getting their voice and now they're finally pushing back. In under 4 days, this whole story went from what happened then to what we're about to learn now.
Oh, waiting for y'all to just join on in here. Some of you, I probably will answer some questions later on, but I have some things I need to go through first. Alright, so for those of you the other night, I believe it was Monday night, who watched my PSA for Boyish Men, it has since gained a little bit of traction. I also posted it on Facebook, and I think it's sitting at about 1.5 million views right now. So obviously, it picked up a little bit of talk, which is okay. Not like I'm not used to that. I'm very used to it. But I did want to clear a few things up about that video and just expand on it a little bit, because that's always important. You can't ever say everything you want to say in 15 minutes. And I've heard a lot of comments on it, a lot of praise, a lot of criticism, so I figured I'd just go through some of them if y'all are ready. Alright, so first of all, some of the misperceptions and misconceptions about some of the things I said in that video that I want to go through real quick. First and foremost, okay, I don't think all men are trash. And I also want to again...
I mean, to shut this shit down. Tommy Lauren is teaching black women a very valuable lesson. A very valuable lesson. What is that? You cannot just drag me in and get away with it. The point I made, and I have to keep toggling because people talk about echo. We want to deal with the echo. The point I made is, notice Tommy's demeanor. Notice how she's coming in to fix this. She said all men are trash. That's what she said. All men are trash. She didn't edit anything. She doubled and tripled down. She was full of that because she didn't get any pushback. Why? Because this playbook had worked in the black community for 50 years. But see, the white community, other communities where they have family system, patriarchy, family values, if nothing else, they have seen what is happening in our community. What happens when you let this gender war take root? Men are pushing back, and they are shutting this crap down. Tommy Lauren's got something to teach you. Think about it. This was going on in our community for 50 years. This didn't even get a week. She made a video on Monday, and on Thursday, she was back. She was moonwalking backwards like a mug.
That I made between boys and men. There is a big difference between boys and men. And I'm not talking about an age difference. I'm talking about a mentality difference. If you are a man and you watched that and you thought that I was calling you trash, I will apologize for that, because I don't think all men are trash. I don't think any men are trash at all. I think that some boys who think that they are men have a tendency, shall we say, in 2020 to not quite act the right way. And I'm not saying that girls act the right way, mind you. Okay, this is an equal opportunity situation here, but I'm not a dude, in case you haven't noticed. I don't identify as a dude, I'm not a dude. So for me to do a video about how crappy women are in the dating scene, I really don't think I could offer you that much knowledge on it, because I've never dated a girl yet. Okay?
Ladies, Tommy's got something to teach you. She said, I just made a video talking about how crappy it is dating men in the dating scene. But I'm not a dude. So stop asking me to talk about how bad it is being a man in the dating scene, because I don't date them. See, she is teaching
She's got something to teach you, black women. When brothers or men start coming out talking about their experiences in the dating world, stop at and you ask the same questions that she got from men. She said it. I'm a woman. I got to give it to you from a woman's standpoint. And I can't tell you what it's like to be you. I'm just telling you what it's like to be me. See, that will work in an environment where they're actually trying to keep families together, trying to keep relationships together. But see, people will come over to men or women in the black community, and the men will ask the women to talk about how bad y'all are. And the women will ask the men, talk about how bad you are. This is a college level course. And ladies, what are you learning from Tommy? She came in running the, I'm strong, independent, don't need no man, I'm a high value, and I got standards, and you don't chase no man, I ain't gonna compete for no man, don't do that. She should have been up there singing I Will Survive with Gloria Gaynor, and Beyonce could have been singing and dancing in the background. But they shut that crap down because they're trying to keep their families. They're trying to keep their relationships, and now she's out here in a softer, more gentle tone doing this.
Okay, so I can't help you there. I'm not saying that girls are perfect and men are awful or boys are awful. I'm not saying that, never would say that. I'm sure that there are many horrible girls out there that do many horrible things. I myself am not perfect. I acknowledge that. I'm happy to acknowledge it. So, I wanted to clear that up. Men, I don't think you're trash. I happen to quite like men, and especially real men who act like men and who treat women the right way. And I'm going to get into that in a little bit, but I want to clear up some other misperceptions about the video, things that maybe you guys were confused about, so I can help you out. It was not in any way, shape, or form about my ex-fiance. Okay? My ex-fiance is a saint. My ex-fiance is a great individual, a great man, and the woman that ends up with him is going to be incredibly lucky because all the things that I bitched about in that video, he didn't do any of those things. He's a great guy, so I want to clear that up. It wasn't me being scorned about a broken off engagement. It wasn't me being scorned about a bad breakup. I haven't dated anybody in months. So it wasn't about that, and it wasn't about my ex-fiance, so I want to clear that up. If he's watching or his friends are watching, not about him.
So, if you're new to my channel, stop asking me all these questions. You're going to have to sit your butt down and pay attention. All you people with short attention spans, this is a place for people with intelligence and can think longer than 2 minutes. Where's the colorism part? Sit your ass down and listen. And if you can't wait until I tie it all together, leave. Like I said, this woman had to come back and say, oh, first off, let me clear this up about Brad. Brad is a wonderful man. It ain't about Brad. Brad is, walks on water. And about Brad or his friends or anything else, she had to go apologize to white men. Because her money's on the line, black men. See, when you control the economy that your women work in, they have to worry about your image. This is why I say, brothers, we got to build vertical. As long as they're working for somebody else, they can turn up our image because they're going to work in their company. Oh, we're going to get a little bit of everybody's going to got today. Because Tommy got to go back and clear up Brad because Brad and him came for her. And Brad and him can actually impose consequences. Like men, we can't impose any consequence on our women. Globally, locally, yes, globally, no. 4 days. Actually, it wasn't even 4 days. It happened inside of 4 hours. See, it's not where the color is apart. Like I told you 2 or 3 weeks ago, it's not your skin color, it's your attitude. She came in with the typical black girl attitude. Is that clear enough for you? Or do you need me to get you a picture book? Do you need to get the big Crayolas out? Is that clear enough for you now? She came in here with the typical black girl power playbook. Even though she's a conservative pundit, she tried to touch that liberal feminine stuff and she got destroyed. So, understand something.
if you go in the world talking like Tommy Lauren does, sisters, and you think you get a bad response, and you say, well, it's because my dark skin. No. It's your attitude. It's the attitude more than anything else. Yes, it's always going to be a factor, but it's your attitude.
Another thing that I thought was kind of weird, because I read some media headlines about it, was that my video the other night was homophobic. You're going to have to explain that to me, how that video was homophobic. I don't think it was homophobic in the least. I can't even wrap my mind around how anyone say it was homophobic. That makes no sense to me. So, if anybody got that impression, maybe rewatch it, because it certainly wasn't homophobic. But I also...
Brad got so much power and is so dope. He got her apologizing for shit that she didn't even say. We're trying to get our women to stop talking about stuff. We're just trying to get them to say the truth. Stop saying it. Y'all out here making babies all over the place when 51% of black men are single and childless. Y'all out here broke dusted when the facts are 64% of black men are in the middle class. See, the facts are on your side, brother. And far too many of the sisters that got this Tommy Lauren kind of attitude won't even tell the truth. They're telling a lie. And we can't do nothing about it because you don't control the economy that they work in. But when she goes out and tells a falsehood, a lie, stretches it, even exaggerates, Brad can come down and say, oh, no. Not only are you going to go back and make sure you put Brad back up on Mount Olympus, you're going to go apologize to the gays and kittens and matter of fact, who else do we need her to apologize to? The automobile dealers, who else? The farmers, the airline association. We need you to apologize to the Major League Soccer, Boy Scouts of America, the junior colleges. We need you to apologize to the janitors. If you don't, we'll take everything that you think is so great about you. That career you got, how great and wonderful you are, we'll take all of that. We'll take all that itch. Yeah, no more Fox, no more blades for you. We'll take all of it. And you'll just be an adjustable 6 blonde out here in the danger zone. Trying to get a husband. And instead, when we take all that from you that we gave it to you because we built it. When we take all of it from you, you won't be sitting around and talk about all that list stuff. You'll just be happy to get a man, period. See, you want cooperation and submission, you better be willing to pay the price, brother. That's why when I made that video, men should pay for everything, and women should be hypergamous. Here it is. See, if you want this kind of behavior from a woman, you're gonna have to pay the cost. Oh yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about a couple of the responses that I got, and once again, kind of just reinforcing my point here. So the kind of responses that I got from at least people that I know, males that I know, were two. First of all, most of the guys in my life, they either thought it was about them and it wasn't, and they apologized and they didn't need to, or I have friends of mine that I've never dated who are just dudes who messaged me and said, hey, this actually really helps me out because it's a jungle out there and sometimes men don't know how to act. They don't understand what they're doing wrong, which was the whole point of my video. It wasn't to give men a guide.
Now, there's one point I'm going to co-sign. I agree with her list. Let me go ahead and tell you why I agree with her list. Let me go ahead and read it to you again. You need to make sure you're single. Tell the truth. You got situationships and married folks out there dating? No. Yeah, I agree. To be in my Facebook group, you got to announce your current status and what you're looking for. And if you're found to be false, all she said is, women don't want you to be text pals. Don't contact without plans. Yeah, I said it to the nth degree. CIA, you need to assert, men. If you aren't going to if you don't have a plan for a woman, how you doing, cutie? How you doing, sweetie? No, contact her with a plan. I'm going out to dinner. I'd love for you to attend with. I'm going out next Tuesday at 7. Will you be my guest?
That's a yes or no. If she says no, don't. Somebody else. But don't. The worst thing to do is contact what you want to do. What you want to do. That's weak. Making plans. But in order to make plans, you got to have plans. In order to have plans, you got to have a purpose in a life. One of the biggest problems we're having back and forth with women like this is they're outpacing men in social life. Women are far more active today. This is where, guys, if you do better, you need to have a life. I get pushback when I tell you, if you don't have a life that requires you to wear a suit from time to time, you need a broader life. You need a suit. You need a dinner jacket. You need to put on a tuxedo at least once a year. Oh man, I don't need no tuxedo. I don't need no suit. Okay, and you call yourself a grown man. Right. Be consistent. Don't ghost her. Well, Tommy, you're getting ghosted because you're shooting out of your lead.
Of things they already knew, it was to help you out in case there's some things you didn't, okay? Maybe men don't know that we like plans to be made. Maybe men don't know that consistency is important. Maybe men don't know that it's nice to be valued for what you bring to the table. Maybe some men don't know those things. Maybe they don't know how important communication.
And notice that even when she's still trying to take her shots at me, she's doing it in a bubbly kind of, just maybe she's not doing it in a teacher, you ain't crap kind of way. See, if this were flipped, and sister in this position was talking to men in her target area, there'll be a completely different energy. Tommy got something to teach you folks.
Is. Men and women think differently. Totally understand that. So I got a lot of men that I know who are great guys who honestly messaged me and said, hey, this is helpful. It's nice to know how women think. It's nice to know how you and your friends think. I like you. I think you're a cool chick. So, and that again reinforces my point. That is the difference between a man and a boy. The men in my life that I dated, met, gone out with, or am just friends with, they were really, they either laughed and thought it was funny, or they were like, hey, cool, thanks for the heads up, okay? That's a...
Alright, that's enough of that. So, for everybody that ran over because I put colorism in the title, if you're not triggered by the word colorism, you got something has too much control over you. When I heard this woman speaking, I didn't get offended. I didn't get offended because I agree. But let me ask you, did she get drugged because of her skin color? Let me ask you, honestly, for the colorism crowd, if that had been a dark-skinned woman in the media and she had gotten drugged or filthy, would you have said she got drugged for her skin color or for her attitude? Men don't like bossy women, period. And women who are trying to get men outside of their looks level are going to be upset because you cannot make men value. You cannot make men value your education. You cannot make men value your career, your home, your 401k. You can't make men do that. That's not how we're wired. So, Tommy has something to teach you, black women. Number one, how women who care about their men act. Tommy has something to teach you, black women, how men who care about their women act. Because even with a public personality like that, when the men of her race group started pushing back, she came back and restated and apologized profusely. A high value, a white woman who thinks she's high value, came back, humbled herself, and apologized profusely. Why? Go ask her. Because they understand, she understands that there's power in the group. well, if black men say, I can understand, so sisters were like, wait a minute, but if black men built Wakanda, then I would apologize. No. Nope. When black men built Wakanda, then no. See, you'll never get Wakanda until you stop fighting your men. Whatever it is you want to say, if black men did this, then you get that. You'll never get that without working with your men. Other groups have studied the black community, the manufactured nature.
Yeah, wait till the phone calls come in, and that's when it gets interesting.
We don't want out of wedlock births because they are rising. You've heard people in the gender war argument talking about, well, wait a minute, out of wedlock birth rates are rising other places, and marital rates are dropping other places too. Then in 2019, what happened? Marital rates were up the highest since 1960. Divorce rates have been halved since 1990. Other groups will do something to keep their families together, their people together, educated or not educated, high value or not high value. They won't destroy their family.
Should be going on what?
And it doesn't matter how one of them, Tommy, got on her Instagram and got on one, they will check that crap because it is a danger to the group. Now, here's the question. Honest question. If this had been a higher value, if this had been a black woman in her position, if this had been a black woman in her position, political pundit,
but it wasn't.
If that had been someone with her level of influence and a black woman, would we have seen any kind of retraction? Black men, even when black men pushed back, would there have been a retraction? Or would there be a double down? And we know damn well we would get a double down because we see it all the time. We've seen this happen here recently. There was a woman here in Atlanta whose cousin was supposedly abducted or was feared being abducted, remember? That whole to-do. And she called her cousin, and her cousin got on Instagram and she drugged black men for filth. Now this woman apparently was a supporter of brothers. Well, all it took was her cousin calling her saying, "Cuz, I'm being followed by these black men," and da-da-da-da-da. And then the woman in question saying it on social media and not getting the response she felt like she should get or wanted to get, and she went off. Okay, Tommy Lauren went off. But then when brothers came back and responded, did black men get a response like Tommy Lauren got? No, what we got was we got more lectures, we got doubling and tripling down, more war. Tommy Lauren teaching you how you need to handle your high value position, ladies. If you want to have a shot at building Wakanda, you cannot insult your men. And let that stuff rise. Even a white woman knows that. Oh, damn, we went there. We went there. We went there. You cannot insult and drag your men, tell them they're trash, tell them they're this, tell them they're that in public, and not pay a cost. That's the net netter. Now, I know a lot of people don't know Tommy Lauren. Tommy Lauren is a political pundit, but the lesson is this. The lesson is simply this. A woman who is above average cute, but very accomplished, wanting a man in her economic or tax bracket, but she is not in his looks range. complaining about the treatment she's getting from high-value men because they don't like women who are not really, she can be girly, but does that woman come across as feminine or masculine? The men that she wants in her tax bracket don't want women like this. Black men are not, or no different than any other group of men. You heard a white woman saying, I value men, ghost me, aren't serious, aren't consistent. And then, they would rather have a girl who's airhead than an accomplished, cultured woman. No, they just don't want a ball breaker. Let's open up the call line. Because something's going on tonight in YouTube, man. Something happened with the notifications, the weather's going on out here. So here's the thing. My question is this. What can you learn in this Tommy Lawrence situation?
He's a good man. She said, whoever
What can you learn from this Tommy Lawrence situation?
Why did you marry him?
If you go into the halls of power, this kind of attitude, you're always going to get pushback. And one of the sad things I think that have happened to so many of our sisters is they've been useful to other people, but you've been weaponized against your own men. That doesn't mean in order to be, and here's the other thing, what do we need to just be barefoot, pregnant, and uneducated? Come on, man, knock it off. Knock it off. That woman's education and accomplishment are not an excuse for her attitude. Remember that lady that called in the other day who was a lawyer? With all the attitude? You mean to tell me you can't be a pleasant person and accomplished? It comes down to what you really think of people. And if you go into her backstory, she tells you she had a horrible long-term relationship of which she's gotten therapy for. And then after that, she came out with a new sex and girl's attitude. Well, has an engagement that's broken off. Go look at her story, because right now, with all the access she has, all the visibility she has, everything that so many sisters were like, well, they got it easy over there, they got it easy over there. You got a thin, white woman who's financially successful, popular, in the halls of power, and all these things, and she can't get a man. Why? That attitude keeps you single. Alright. Why do you have to get on the camera? Because I'm not going to have a bunch of trolls calling in. So, you don't have to be on YouTube, but you do need to get on the camera.
What?
You need to be able to see you.
Where the hell did that come from?
Jade, Yasmin, you're in the chat room. The pictures are up, that's fine. Which one wants to go first? Jade or Yasmin? Flip the camera around real quick and then flip it off. But you don't have to, but you're gonna have to at least show something. Alright, you don't have to be on Jade. I see you. Alright, Jade, how are you?
Hello, Kevin, or Mr. Samuel. I'm fine, how are you?
I'm well. What you got on the topic? What can Tommy Lawrence teach black men?
Well, I definitely thought colorism was an issue before. I mean, I still think it's an issue, but...
Okay, why do you think that, what's the issue? What do you think the issue about colorism is?
Well, I think that dark skin is kind of seen more... I think that a dark-skinned woman has to be a lot more feminine than a lighter-skinned woman for them to be considered on the same level. And more attractive as well.
Okay, and what examples have you seen of this in your personal life?
Well, I'd say almost entirely all the relationships that I have seen when the woman is darker.
No.
Oh,
I mean in your life, not what you've seen. Because here's the thing: women like to do this oftentimes. You like to look at things and then interpret. And inevitably, your interpretations are wrong. You don't know. So tell me about in your life where your skin, where you've had to be more feminine to get the same attention or opportunities as light skin.
Well, I'll say that in my work experiences and also in dating experiences.
In your dating experiences and your what?
In work experiences.
Okay. Give me an example.
I personally, well, one example. So, I worked with a Latino woman that was, she was fit, definitely, but she was very loud. She cursed a lot, but it was never a problem. There was an encounter that I had with an older woman that was being very aggressive towards me, and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't respond in the best way. I also responded aggressively, and and I was given a lot of negative energy that this Latino woman was never given, even though she was consistently loud.
Okay. This is a very vague story. Nothing specifically happened. Let me tell you what I just heard. I'm speeding down the highway. The speed limit is 65 or 70 miles an hour, right? And I'm going 100. And the woman and somebody next to me is going 103. Cop pulls me over, gives me a ticket. Cops are unfair. Were you breaking the law?
Yeah. Yeah.
In your situation, are you breaking the law?
Yeah. Yeah, I was.
But instead of just checking yourself, you go outside of yourself to assume some stuff that you cannot prove.
No, that is true. That is true. And I did, and like I said, I did admit that I was aggressive when I should not have been, so.
Oh, let's stop right there. I just asked you to prove or validate or substantiate what you say you believe, and you haven't. This the best you can give me?
Well, what I was trying to say is that I had one negative experience that I could think of, and in return I received a very negative response, which was deserved.
But it was deserved.
Yes, but I'm saying there was someone that regularly behaved outrageously.
So, man, do you make room for the possibility maybe your perceptions of this off?
No, it's possible, definitely.
Because here's what I hear a lot of times from these colorism arguments. I act bad because I've been treated bad. And then I see other people who act as bad as I do, but they don't get the same response. But tell me about when you act good. When you act well. Are you still getting treated poorly?
Generally, no.
Show over. Show over. Thank you guys for coming out tonight. We're done. I just solved the colorism debate. When you act the way you want to get treated, you tend to get treated well.
So you're 100% right, but I
mean, here's the thing. You can give me a percentage, but ma'am, but at the end of the day, more times when you talk about this colorism thing, it's an assumption, it's a feeling, and I've yet to have somebody tell me it was because of my skin color. You can assume that. You rarely have somebody just being innocent, doing nothing. I know it's going to take some people off because they'll be, no, that's not right, color is nothing. Yes, everything matters. You can have a Latina woman and a black woman. There's going to be prejudices and perception differences between both. Absolutely. No different than you can have a Latina woman and a white woman and an Asian woman. Everyone has prejudice. But to say you get treated differently solely based on and if that's the determining factor, still wait for that story.
Okay, so what I was going to say that I learned from Tony Lauren is that it's good to be humble, and I believe that I'm generally a pretty humble person. I can admit when I'm wrong. Like you said, like my perception about some things that may be off, but I think generally I can try my best to be level-headed. I try my best to not hurt anybody. I don't want to offend anybody ever, so... Okay. And that's kind of one of the things that I took away from what she was talking about.
Tommy, Lauren, like I said, no one. She made up a lot. What I heard, I didn't say she was wrong for wanting what she wants, for getting mad at people for what she cannot get. She got her look. So, okay, but now I'm gonna put you back in the. Okay, I've already got you. So thank you for calling in. Thank you for answering the questions and at least trying to go down the path. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Hey, Jerry. I can't see you. The room is dark. If you can't come onto the camera, you can stay right there. I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Go ahead and come into the light, Mr. Troll.
It's about to be halftime.
Come on, Mr. Troll. Hey, he's back. Come on, Jerry. Come on, boy. Come on. Come on, boy. Come on. All right. So,
can you hear me?
Yeah. What can you learn from Tommy Lauren, if anything?
I think it's the attitude. You keep on saying we have to be mindful of our attitude, and her first video clearly showed that. She came across as very aggressive, too masculine, and her second video, even though she was making these points, but she was more feminine and came across as more respectful, you know.
Let me ask you a question, Jimmy. Let me ask you a question. What? She said men are trash 3 times in that first video. If a man had said something along those lines, if a black man had said something along those lines, or a man period, or a black man in particular, do you think he'd have had a job in this thing?
No, I don't think so. Everybody will be on his days.
Not only did she have a job, she was allowed a chance to go back and get her life. So, oh, Jerry left. Oh, he had to go back to the pound. Poor Jerry. Let me go ahead and get to, who is this, Priscilla's? Because I do want to answer some other questions, too, because I know this colorism thing, we're going to do a standalone colorism show, because we got to have a conversation about this. Priscilla, how are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm good. All right, did you see the video?
I did.
Was that the first time seeing it?
Yeah.
It's crazy, right?
It is. It's scary, actually.
What was scary about it?
I think the amount of anger she had in the first video, it almost felt like something just happened like the night before, and she was just like letting out the anger to that rant. Yeah.
So, how do I want to ask you? That's a lovely question, because yes, we've seen this kind of rant from in this community. We've seen women say that stuff about men, but there's really. What else would you like to put into it? Because I don't want to lead you down that path. What else would you like to add?
I think that it was very mature of her to come back and humble herself and apologize. And I think that's the turning point, because most of the times when we black women make a mistake, we are afraid to come back and apologize and be humble because we think that the men might laugh it off to take advantage. But it's a great way to show that it's okay to acknowledge your wrong and say you're sorry and try to be right.
There's nobody's perfect.
Right. And see, that's what I kind of want to get to, because usually when I hear our sister talk about coming back and humbling, it'll come back, well, yeah, she came back because the white men owned the economy. So she had to come back because her money was on the line. Let's just say that's true. She still had to come back.
But a lot of men don't
a lot of times the sisters use that. It's an excuse to not have to do better. Because they're saying, if you own the economy, we act like we do. No, if you like your men, you wouldn't want to have that hanging out there about you, calling them trash. So, you said a lot of times it's like this fear that men will take advantage. What do you mean?
I mean, there's this pride they want to hold on to. I don't beg a man. They want to hold on to some power. There's a fear to just be completely vulnerable and say I'm sorry, and maybe the man is going to backlash at you for a minute, which you deserve. They don't want to be in that position of you were wrong. Just take it 100%. They want to hold on to some power. I did this because. Okay. Nothing warrants you to misbehave. I don't care how bad a man is to you. You can walk away. You don't have to do that. You know?
Oh, here's the thing. I agree, and my gut tells me that a lot of our, unfortunately, so many of our in our culture, we don't trust each other. There's not a lot of good faith. No, so it's like, well, if I make a mistake, like you said, they're going to hold this over my head. They're never going to let me go. They're never going to forget it, and I'll never live it down. Never not thinking that, you know what, you make a mistake, they'll accept the apology and you can just move on. So there's a lot of grudge.
That's what I'm talking about.
So, okay, good point. Let me get to Moto. I don't have a name here, so we're gonna go Moto.
If they make a mistake, they never let it go. Do you realize that's how people treat people in general?
Moto E5 Play.
When you label a person,
I have spoken, when I speak to men and tell them to do this and do that, to get yourself together, to understand it's a jungle out there. If you want to be seriously dressed like a man, put on a suit, cut your hair, take off the Jordans, take off the jerseys, get out there and work 60 hours, do all that stuff. Oh, you love that. Women love that stuff. But then when you turn around and say, well, guess what? You're going to need to be cooperative and work with your man and this and that. No. Unfortunately, like it or not, black women, you have a reputation of being difficult to deal with. And you don't change that reputation by trying to insult everybody that has the nerve to try to talk to you. Because, unfortunately, when you have 80% of our children being born out of wedlock, 1 out of 4 being married, you're not winning. And you can't blame the fact that you're not winning on everybody else. You can't blame it on everybody else. And here's another thing. Every black man that you try to make your enemy is not. Here's the thing. And the sad thing is it's a lot of younger women. It's a lot of younger women. And inevitably, you see how I can say politically correct response. Inevitably, you have a group of, our culture got to the point where no one can tell women any truth. In the late 80s, early 90s, a book was written by one Shahrazad Ali. It's called The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman. And in there, she basically says that everyone has been kind of held to task or evaluated for their part in this issue that's the black community, except the women. This was a black woman that actually tried to write down and have a thoughtful way of dealing with where people seized on one passage, one sentence, and everywhere that woman went, instead of having an interview about it, you had women and you had men, so-called guys, seizing on this, and it was like blood sport. This is before the internet. This is before.
And that's the whole plan.
Before things are very recorded, so a lot of this stuff is. You're on YouTube right now and see. But what you notice is in a lot of those audiences, you had men standing up saying, "Thank you for writing that book. Thank you," because somebody finally said, "You know what? It ain't all your issue, brother, and it's hard dealing with this woman over here, dealing with that over here." And that happened, but they effectively shouted her down. And after that point, for 30 plus years, it's just been allowed to get to this point. And the relationships between men and women have gotten further and further and further away. My generation, Generation X,
My generation
gave birth to millennial single mothers, boys raised without dads, and then you get Zennials. You can almost guarantee that the people who call it, the people who have the biggest issue with what I'm talking about, are likely either one of these two things: single mother, or in that 80% that's overweight.
Yes.
Two things that have nothing to do with, you can control those things. And so you're not supposed to say those things. And the fact that you actually say, well, all right, those things, no one is, you are not responsible for your situation, but you are responsible for doing something. It's not your fault, but it is your responsibility. Whatever situation you're in, you got to do something about it. And unfortunately, we have a situation where a lot of black women don't want to hear nothing from nobody. You're supposed to accept everything you do. No one can say nothing. The only people you like are the ones that are telling you you're a king, you're this, you're that. And it doesn't matter if you say it in a nice way, or it doesn't matter if you're cussing them out. So here's the question. Who do you want saying anything to? And the answer comes back to nobody. It comes back to nobody. And that's just not going to work. It's not going to work because
it's like my situation. It ain't gonna get better unless you want to. Like I get it. There's nothing here. You got long hair. Yeah, you didn't grow up with both parents in the house. You grew up probably living in other people's houses or just trying to figure it out. Other stuff, being angry, whatever, but you had that choice, like, you know, to make those changes in your life, and you can make out. You see what I'm saying? You say, this is what I really want. I don't want this. And that's how I felt. I didn't want to be around. So people don't walk around, realize, like, who I'm flocking with, I'm just picking up the same shit. Birds of a feather flock together. I wasn't learning that from people out here. And that's not good. I wasn't going anywhere. And people I crossed paths with that was trying to stick around in me, I wasn't taking heed to it. So, I think that's why we're trying to tell you, don't be too late in age. Like how this man trying to tell you young lady, 30 in my age, and I'm like, well, I want this, and I'm happy that I was raising that I had a husband who we work together, we're married, I think somebody can do it because, I feel like all of us have a lot to deal with because we all have past. You know, we got a lot of shit, and these men have these young women to be able to come into these relationships. It's how you have to deal with that rest of your life. And just like the man said, no man's not going to want to deal with that for the rest of his fucking life. You see what I'm saying? A woman that's being combative or you being bossy or, you know, eventually you're going to step out or feel like I can do better. You see what I'm saying? I get it. I fucking get it. I'm happy that I'm just one of the women who got it before it's too late because these women, they get to a point they lonely and they don't want to be like that, living their life like that. And lonely and shit. And feeling that shit is what I'm trying to say.
Alright, so what's going on, fellas? It is Paradigm coming at you guys.
You cut that video off.
It went off. He talked to the call and it was going off. I was just looking for something another one to watch. See, I was clicking this one. But that's somebody else they were talking to. And then I fully get, you know, people say like he wasn't ready, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't ready to, like, if I crossed paths with the person I probably be setting that, I wasn't ready. You what's the industry, you know what I'm saying? Like, even yourself, you know, when you get learning and learning. And then I just believe, like I said, honestly, you are, like, your husband somewhere, he's going through some tough, harsh relationships like this. So when you bring y'all together, y'all be ready for each other. Y'all both know the story to tell. Somebody you have to grow with, you know what I'm saying? Somebody that's going to teach you. And like the people say, the women don't realize when the man is realizing he's teaching you, he's going to take like, you ain't going to tell me, I'm trying to help the better you, motherfucker. Like the man, how he came up, he said, you don't like it, then you can take your ass out here. They didn't hear nothing that he said. They didn't hear the message that he told. All they heard was that he said, you get your ass out here, don't get the fuck out. People get so, oh, he cussed. Bitch, you cuss. How can I get offended if I'm cussing at somebody, they cuss at me? I can't get offended because I'm cussing at them. He's like, he's trying to do something. That's another thing. We don't hear none of this shit. We hear one word and we go off. Like the man, and you gotta stop that. Or we ain't gonna never be better. And like the man said, you gotta stop, or your ass is gonna keep being fucking wrong. We talking about some well, then you gonna keep being somebody's fucking punching bag and not nobody's wife. You just gonna be somebody's punching bag. Is that what you choose to be? You call an ex in this man, or you just want to better yourself, listen to their life. Do you want to continue your life being somebody's punching bag, or do you want to be somebody's wife? And you know what I mean when I say somebody's punching bag. Because somebody just jumped up and down on you. You want to continue to live your life like that? Where so when they go home and you alone, because you know you got some cold days and all the other stuff. Just like you said, I never, like you guys, like how you said, I never told y'all women that, in here the color thing, here it is, this is a white woman who she's making this big figure, and she looked a certain way, and she still can't get a high free man. She said, like I told you, yeah, I want to see you. Get the fucking attitude.
In the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. 34 yards on the return. For a moment, looked like he had a shot to go all the way. And this offense set up with a very short field. 1st and 10 inside the 20. On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. Got a man, it's caught.
I just want somebody to explain to me how a woman like Cardi B and her family feel a certain way. Her husband, if he would tell another man cheat, when you out there exploring your fucking self, how can I take you serious as a fucking wife? I don't want my wife talking about some whack, or you talking about what you doing, nigga, and you all this on the video. I hate your videos that you make as my wife. I'm not even a man, but from a man's perspective, that shit ain't even cute. I wouldn't even want my woman explore herself like that. I be trying to, I'm like, Kevin Samuel, we're the real men. Y'all gonna speak up or keep being bitches. Like the lady said, don't be a bitch. Speak up and tell them, I don't like this. No. I tell my son, you have to be forward. You cannot, don't think you can't hurt the feelings. I understand that. You be forward with me. I have to take that shit and go in there and deal with it. You see what I'm saying? Pacifying. And then we get in this bullshit. And then you have a daughter, and then you have other kids, and then these are the same people who keep redheads and all those kids. What's the future? You got all these fucking kids out there. That ain't cute. They're the problem too. So that shit ain't cute.
Incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. Mayfield looks to throw. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
I think this one offensively, this is one where you just say, let's move on. Let's not watch the game tapes from this one.
Yeah, you might just want to throw it in the trash, act like it was never there in the first place.
Yeah, just say we're good. I actually heard of a coach in the past who took his team out to the practice field and ceremonially buried the game from the prior game when they got clobbed. That's his way of putting it behind him.
Big yardage there for the Browns, 18.
That was a pretty good throw on should be aware, but it's so hard sometimes. It's not easy. Because when they sell that route really well, they think they're going upfield, but they pull back, show their numbers to the quarterback, and complete the play.
Going on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. It just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on the side of the field.
That's why it's continuing. But I don't know. I don't think it's anytime I'm cheating is okay. Well, and you say what's the because we do say like those power men, they do anything big because
most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
The Browns on third down. They've converted a third of their opportunities, 3 for 9. This time it's 3rd and 3. Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
And this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
Dances by him. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Ravens will take over. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out on the field. We've got a lopsided game here at China. Charles, what does the handbook say we discuss when we've got a game like this in the fourth quarter?
Hold a second, let me thumb to the proper page on that. Notice says, let's discuss how we got here. This is a dominant performance. Where they took control of this game, how they've managed to keep control of this game, and then we go ahead and think about how we're going to leave here and get to the end of the outside blowout.
9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. The previous run good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. Now carry here for their fullback. Just short of 45 at the 44. They get 14 on that one. That's good for a Baltimore first down. This is where, fourth quarter, you got the lead, you give it to the big guy. Defensively, kind of sucks the will out of him, doesn't it? Because they don't want to tackle him right now this late in the game.
Well, you say that with accusatory tones. But you're exactly right. I know it's not something we actually want to talk about, but as a defender, 4 quarters worth of trying to bring people down, 4 quarters worth of pounding, and now late in the game, here comes that big guy coming at you, and a lot of guys are wondering where they want to come up and make that tackle at this stage of the game.
He's going deep for Brown. Now it's caught at the 6-yard line. And he is into the end zone for Baltimore.
And guys, I get it. I've been out of the game for about 2 years now, and it was trash then. I can only imagine how trash it would be right now, okay? And do you know how I know it's trash? By watching this show. I watched the reunion and I'm disappointed, right? I'm disappointed because I feel like what we see on TV does reflect real life, okay? And if it's happening in the show, it's happening in our real life. And out of 20 beautiful, stunning, high potential, quality singles, bachelors and bachelorettes, not one couple out of the 20 could form a relationship. And so in this video, I'm going to basically be talking about some of the problems that I saw in these singles on this show and how it relates to modern day dating that I'm sure many of you have experienced. So if you haven't actually watched the show, don't worry about it. I will insert clips here and there. However, you don't have to watch it because most of you guys are probably already living this. So the first issue I saw in the show is that you do not need to be dating, you need therapy. On the show I saw many people professing that they were whole and ready to love but had so much baggage, so much emotional issues, so much emotional trauma. Who could not?
No, keep playing the video. Playing the video, yeah, to put that on. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Sometimes teams want to do that, and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team, and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost, it was over, right? And the coach called a running play, and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that
Not really date with an upper hand. It's like someone has broken their leg, putting them on the pitch. But the problem with a lot of emotional issues, you can't see them. And most of the time, you don't see them until you're actually put in a situation, right? A lot of us think, especially women, we think that we're healed, I've been working on myself, oh, I've got this in a bag. And the moment you're put in a relationship situation, you crumble. The dragon comes out, the devil comes out. What was already inside starts to come out and truly shows you that you are not ready for a relationship. And I made a video 2 years ago now, probably, saying, if you're hurt, don't date, heal, right? And I'm not saying that you have to be the most healed, the most evolved person to really be in a relationship, because there's going to be work, even in a relationship, that you are going to have to do. But I'd rather go into a relationship half full, 3/4 full, than a quarter full or empty. So the first person I'm going to talk about is our dear friend Denise. She's no stranger to my channel. I talked about her in one of my videos, and I spoke about what the kind of women that men hate, okay? Denise troubles my soul because she has so much potential. I think a lot of us black girls, we were rooting for Denise. Denise, we were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you, sis.
It's Candy to say that I'm hurt. I am. But I can't change it. I think you can't change what? This is not about stuff that I cannot change. I'm sick of being disappointed with all of it. I'm not.
Are you sick of being disappointed? Obviously, I am. No, you're not. You were sick of being disappointed. You would stand up and you would take control of your destiny. Do you know that you have a possibility to win? Do you know that all of America is rooting for you? Do you know that? And then you come in and you treat us like, maybe I am angry inside. I've been through stuff, huh? I have never in my life put a bed at night. You lay there and turn it up for you. Don't know where the hell I come from.
But you put mirrors to us, and not everyone's a hater. Not everyone's hating on you. Some people live with you, or they're around you a lot of the time, to really realize you're full of shit and need to change. And you're walking around like your shit don't stink, but it stinks really bad and it's really polluting the air. And you think because you're beautiful, you can get off on it. You can go around thinking, oh, there's flattering your eyelids and smiling and think that no one will realize that you're batshit crazy. And Denise on the show proved to us that she's obsessive, too much, and the worst thing, not being able to take the L. Every time she was almost eliminated, nobody was in the final two more than Denise. And every time the guys came out and told her, this is what the guy's saying about you, this is what we're feeling, this is what we're getting. And she nod her head and said, okay, I think she was just happy to be in the running. I think it was more so a stroke to her ego and not a moment to actually pause and be like, okay, what are these men telling me? What can these people see in me that I can't see in myself? So Denise, therapy, please. Again.
I did not understand each other.
Yeah.
Mayfield in his Browns offense staring at a 3rd and long now after the sack. 3rd and long for Mayfield. And unable to connect, incomplete. Give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? You don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
Now he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. A very good return there, giving an even 20 yards. And control of the football, switching hands here with very little time remaining in this contest. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Nah, your mother is toxic.
Jackson to throw, eluding the pressure right. It's Brown. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown
Good work.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. It's fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Browns drive about to get started. Well, this is just an exercise in futility. You go about running a play here offensively. Because now it's not going to erase what's happened during the game. So after it's over, you go to the film, find out where the game was won or lost. But this is not a situation now where you're going to make up for anything. We'll see what they do here. A big offensive explosion have leading them to victory. And the defensive guys are saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep running. They will quickly accept that, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow. So for the Ravens, the train just keeps rolling 9-0 now to start this campaign. And they'll have another road date next week with the Kansas City Chiefs. Meanwhile, for Cleveland, they are barely in front as they fall to 4-5. And they'll try to rebuild next week as they head to Heinz Field to take on the Steelers.
Light up your name here and shine your brightest with Tagline. Get 0.9% APR for 60 months plus $51 purchase allowance on the 2021 Honda X4 and X5.
Hello. Hey, Kevin.
How are you? Hold on, guys, let me try to get music.
Yeah, hi. You saw this with Juicy's bullets that she can't find her because of You saw that one?
Yeah, we were watching one
about... Where you watching?
I saw, that's crazy. That's why I keep calling her crazy. She's crazy. What's wrong with her? Cause she...
Oh, Juicy.
Why you call her that?
She called herself that.
Okay.
She's like, yeah, I'm Juicy. And he had this look on her face like, ugh. I'm like, why would you say that?
So she called it before. She's crazy. He got regular calls that. I didn't understand. This is Mother TV. She's surprised.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna say this for tomorrow.
Alright, I'm coming back to you guys, iPad 2, whatever your name is. Unmute yourself. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, so very nice to meet you. I am new to your channel.
Uh-oh.
So, just kind of following along. So, I've just
First off, let's start with this. What's your name?
My name's Susan.
Hi, Susan. How old are you?
I'm 30.
Alright. What you got for me?
So I'm 30 and I have 2 kids. So I'm single, I have 2 kids, from a previous relationship. So I'm kind of trying to rate myself. But I am still like very like young, active, I have a lot to offer. I make great money, I have good, well-behaved children, and I am in LA dating, and I just find dating in LA so hard. So I actually don't have like a problem like meeting like what you call like high profile men, like men.
You got a problem getting a husband.
Yeah, but
yeah, because you have 2 kids.
So it's just the 2 kids thing?
No,
like,
it's not just, it's big. I mean, you're 30 years old and all this career stuff. Where, how many different fathers?
1.
How come you and he didn't get married?
I was still young when I was in that relationship, so I met him when
How old is your oldest child?
10.
How old is your youngest?
7.
So you were 23.
When I had my daughter, yeah. So my kid's father, he was older than me.
But listen to what I'm about to say. You were young, you were old enough to make babies.
Yeah.
First one at 20. Even though I'm not okay with it, you know, it's like the second one, maybe that's a choice. Why didn't you?
No, we were in the, like, I was with him for like 6 or 7 years.
But you weren't his wife.
No. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Let me explain it to you. I'll try. You're a woman who was with a man for 6 or 7 years, and you gave him the highest honor a woman can give any man on the planet. You gave him children. You gave him not only 1, you gave him 2. And yet you did not require him to even bestow the title of a wife upon him. So you go back out into the market, older, with 2 children, and you expect someone in that market to accept you older and bestow the title of wife upon you?